I can't find the words to explain to you how good these pro gamers are.
He's actually stimming his units as he leaves the base. He's trying to get so many other players' face that there's not even time for the Bailings to finish.
Naniwa's got his army split up. He's got one attack on the right hand side, another chasing down the army. Storm's come down.
These are the best of the best in esports history.
And Hux starting to blink forward as the Zealots are removed. The supply goes in Hux's favor.
So much energy. Where did that energy come from? Tanks desperately trying to target fire down Queens.
The Archon's moving forward. A lot is going down here, and only Colossus left over.
He's starting to get some feedbacks down. He's starting to advance forward. Another vortex.
There's the blink forward, trying to get underneath those Brood Lords. Oh, he sends the vortex.
Are you ready?
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Winter Season Showdowns. My name is axeltoss. I'm joined by axslav. These matches are awesome. They keep getting better and better, and I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for this specific day.
Yes.
Maybe.
This day, of course. I mean, it's been a while since you've seen Idra play in the spotlight. I think Blizzard World Finals was the last big event he was in. Will we see him in Dallas?
That's the question.
It's a big question, but he's got a really
A certain
tough
someone standing in his way.
Yes.
Of course, today is going to be Idra versus Minigun. You're watching the Winter Season Showdowns again, where we have best of fives to determine who advances to the Winter Championship event in Dallas, Texas on March 15th. Right now, we're going through the North American region. Every other region has already been played, has already been broadcasted. These are the last matches you're going to see in the Winter Season Showdowns. On Friday, we saw Caliber versus Ghost User. Ghost User taking the 3-2 victory there. Today, Sunday, we have Idra versus Minigun. That's EG's Idra versus Root Gaming's Minigun, of course, throughout the week as we round out the Winter Season Showdowns. You can see the rest of the matches on that list there. Very exciting week. I feel like a lot of people are going to make sure they're here at 5 p.m. Eastern every single day so they can see the fan favorites, in a sense. Of course, maybe not the best players in the world, but these are the guys that everyone has been following for a very long time. They're streaming a lot. They have obviously they speak English, so they have great personalities that we can actually see, and they're very revealing, I guess, it might be a good word to use as far as streaming is concerned. They're in a lot of interviews, so we have more of a personal connection with them, I feel, which makes for some very intriguing storylines.
It definitely does, of course. We saw Ghost User was able to be the first one in here, knocking out Caliber. Of course, Ghost User, one of the top Heartless Swarm players at the moment.
Yep.
Idra, one of the most well-known, most respected, hated, feared, loathed, loved, what have you players in the North American scene. This guy, he's got some controversy, but one thing that you cannot deny, he does have a lot of skill.
Yeah, he does. Undoubtedly one of the best North American Zerg players to ever play the game. Before we get into today's match, though, let's take a look at who's already qualified. Of course, as I said before, we've already had the KESPA players, the ESF players, the European players. All those segments have already been played, and there you see all of the qualified players so far for the championship event. Of course, qualifying from the last Dallas event, Life, Leenock Bomber, and Flash getting top 4. But look at these names who are going to join them. That tournament is looking... It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of players. We've actually got a pretty even race distribution as well. Maybe one more Protoss than the other races, maybe two. But Zergs are slightly lacking, especially in the Korean Zerg department. But we've still got some great representatives. Of course, Stefano, Rat, Sen, Bly, and Ghost User. Sen is one guy I'm really excited to see. Yeah,
Sen, a great opportunity for him is going to be in Dallas to make a run. But that's all to come. Of course, we're still trying to find out who's going to join these guys in that championship event. Of course, that being said, everyone's like, axeltoss and axslav, can we please watch Minigun versus Idra, please? Well, since you asked so nicely, let's go ahead and get into game 1.
Let's do it. Game number 1 is going to start off on Cloud Kingdom. Of course, this is a best of 5. So the first game, you know, whoever wins is going to be at an advantage, but it's not going to decide the entire thing, but it is going to set the tone for the whole series.
And, oh, there's so much we can talk about, you know, on that topic alone regarding mental fortitude. You know, if you win the first game, if you lose the first game, how the game goes. But before we get too far, let's go ahead and introduce these players. In the top right-hand location, we have the man with many middle names. Representing Team Root Gaming, he is Chad Minigun Jones. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location, commonly referred to as the Kraken, very loved by a lot of people, but hated by a lot of people as well. But he's come to play StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm to try to get himself that spot at the Winter Championship event. From Team Evil Geniuses, he is Greg Idra Fields.
I'm so excited for this match in so many different ways. The skill sets, the way the skill sets of these players will match up is going to be really exciting. I feel, you know, Idra's got the advantage in multitasking and macro, but Minigun, I think he has an advantage in mind games and also in constructing that late game compositions. Idra sometimes struggled in the super late game. He's exceptional in the mid game though. So it's really going to be a test of what's going to happen in the mid game. Will Minigun play any mind games in the openings to maybe take Idra out early? Or if not, how's he going to survive Idra's devastating mid game macro multitasking monstrosity?
Both of these guys have very entertaining streams, so I encourage each and every one of you watching to check them out. I think they're both on twitch.tv. They broadcast their play a lot, and they've both been playing a ridiculous amount of Heart of the Swarm in preparation for this match. Minigun, a very nice 60, I think it's 60 FPS, 720p stream over there. Idra, very similar as well. But, you know, the point is both these guys have been playing a lot of Heart of the Swarm. So it's not like one of those matches where we're like, okay, how much have these guys played? Do we know if they know what they're doing? They've broadcasted their Heart of the Swarm games. They know what they're doing, and it should be very interesting to see how their play lines up with one another, how they're going to clash, and what strategies they're going to elect to go for.
Both players opening up very normally so far. Minigun, actually, I was going to say delaying his second pylon, but then I lied because there are two there. He just built it so fast that it's already done. He's already at 20 food. Very, very aggressively probing up in the opening. Cannon a little bit on the later end, which is perfect against a player like Idra, who is not known for really sending out units very early on in the game.
That's an interesting point as well. Obviously, these guys both have pretty known styles. And it should be interesting to see, are they going to break away from those styles in these matches? Are they going to try to take advantage of possible assumptions from their opponent? You know, that remains to be seen, but it's worth considering. For now, we see very standard play from both of these two players. Minigun opening up with that Forge, Fast Expand. 2 gases in his main base. Idra going for the fast 3 hatcheries.
A deviation, though, by Idra.
Taking a gas.
A very, very fast gas. Of course, this is actually a build I like to see. What he's going to do, he's going to get his tech up faster. It's going to mean he's going to have a little bit less drones to play with. A lot of Zergs like to spend all the early money on minerals, then into drones, up until they hit between the 40 to 50 food market. But Idra getting that gas, I think was around 26 supply. Going to have a lot of gas early. What's he going to do it on? Could he go fast Hydras, fast Mutas, fast Swarm Host, maybe just fast 13 speed to take map control? We'll have to wait and see.
It's not like he's throwing away his economy to do this. It's not like he's throwing away his mid game. He's taking that third base. He's still making plenty of drones, just getting that early gas for speed, it seems, and even taking those drones off of gas. So he's going to still be prioritizing those drones, just wants to get that speed upgrade. Of course, that can be very helpful in dealing with early pushes from the Protoss player.
This is going to be, like you mentioned, a natural counter to early pushes, but it's also going to work out great against. If Minigun tries to take one of those very fast third bases, we see a lot of Protosses do behind just 1 or 2 Stalkers and a Mothership Core, the mass speedings can definitely knock out that third base. And in fact, Minigun's got a probe. I think he's trying to do the 1-gate third base, which is a very standard Protoss first Zerg opening nowadays in Heart of Swarm. but it's standard because the idea is that Zerg can't move on the map because you can kite them around with Stalkers, but Idra's going to turn this on its head with that fast speed upgrade.
Idra with 10 lings in production, speed is about 80% of the way done. If speed can get finished while these units are still on the field, Minigun might be in a lot of trouble. Keep in mind, he's going to have Mothership Recall, but that will use the majority of his Mothership core energy. Minigun is going to back away for now, forcing those lings out of his opponent, but little does he know speed is well underway. Trying to take a third behind this, and also adding on a Twilight Council, so he's teching. He's not adding additional gateways. Well, now he is, but are those additional gateways a little too late? We're going to find out, because I feel like Idra has spotted this third, right?
Yes, he had to overlord. He saw the pylon. I mean, that
should
gives
be enough.
It gives it away.
Okay.
He knows exactly what's going on here. He's going to try to put on some slight pressure with the speeding force. If he can cancel the Nexus, that's what he's going to look to do. Minigun wants to get that Nexus up, because once it's up, Photon Overcharge can be an instrumental defensive tool.
It's up. He has enough energy on his Mothership
Yeah, but the Nexus has got to finish first. A nice wall in there.
Great wall in there from Minigun. If Minigun misclicks once, it could be very dangerous.
He's going to go for the cancel. He's
Idra,
not.
a lot of links coming forward here, going to the national expansion, potentially trying to cut off reinforcements, taking down a probe, going to take down this pylon. Minigun going to be a little bit annoyed here. Only 2 gates, a third gate just now added on, and adding on a Dark Shrine as well, so he feels confident he can hold this. Can Idra do any damage with these links?
He's already done a little bit of damage. He's canceled the gateway. He's going to get another pylon. And he forced Minigun to put 2 pylons in his worker line. At least one of those pylons will have to be killed a little bit later. He's also delaying the probe transfer time, but I don't know if this is quite what he wanted. He really would have loved to get that cancel on the Nexus, but seeing the cannon there, seeing the Mothership core, decided he probably couldn't quite get that cancel done. Better to stay back drone up. And I think he's still in a very good position, because Minigun took that very fast third. He's been unable to use it so far.
Minigun adding on that Dark Shrine. Idra does not have any idea. Behind that aggression, Idra was joining up. Already at 67 Harvesters, also going up to layer, starting up that +1 missile attacks upgrade.
Minigun is attacking a pylon, but he's attacking the wrong one in his third base. He's going to have to end up killing both of them now, because the other pylon is still blocking off one of those mineral patches almost completely. You can see here the probes cannot reach that key mineral patch.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he really should have killed the other pylon. The one next to your Nexus, the probes can walk around, and it doesn't significantly impact your mine time. Of course, he may want to kill them both anyway, but he definitely does need to kill the other one, because right now he's losing a lot of mine time by denying access to that mineral patch in the back there.
2 DTs warped in at his third base. Going to send it over to his opponent's side of the map. Does Idra have detection? 2 Overseers are in production from Idra, but those might be outside of his opponent's main. No, only one of them is, but making one back home. So he might know this is coming. Roach is in production, 5 drones in production as well. How much damage can Minigun get done here? Sending them to the natural expansion. No spores there, no detection. A lot of drones are about to fall.
Oh, drones are going down natural. Another DT heading towards the main. Idra by now has figured out he's running drones from natural. He's building a Spore Crawler into main as well, but that DT is still doing damage.
At the same time, Minigun sending his army to the bottom side of the map has ideas of potentially denying this 4th base from his opponent. A very instrumental base for the Zerg player, especially when your Protoss opponent is on 3 bases. Pylon reinforcements coming forward. Blink about to finish. We also have +2 weapons about to finish as well. Gateways aplenty here for Minigun, so he will be able to warp in a lot of units to reinforce. Also, if he gets caught off guard, he can easily just Mothership recall back. Good play here from Minigun. Idra going to be retreating here, making Hydras in that production tab, Lings as well, to try to hold this up. But how much damage can Minigun do?
He's going to try to get a few beneficial trades here. Plenty of force fields. Lots of energy on that Mothership core. At the very least, he's a 9 mine to 4th, but I think he's not going to be content with just that. He's going to try to go in and knock out that 3rd base. More and more Stalkers reinforcing by the second.
Oh, he might be able to. Guardian Shield going down. There goes 2 Time Warps onto the Roaches. Great use of those force shields as well here from Minigun. Taking down so many Roaches. Idra caught off guard, trying to scramble and make the Lings and Hydras, but Idra is going to end up leaving the game there. And that was just a simple case of being a little bit overwhelmed by your opponent, what your opponent throws at you. Idra was unable to scout the Dark Templar play, so the DTs were able to get the drone kills, but then while that was happening, Minigun was formulating a +2 Blink Stalker timing attack, and Idra was trying to deal with 2 things at once, and he just couldn't quite handle it.
He really could. You know, it's hard to tell how much that Zergy push slowed his economy down, but one thing that's for sure is that Minigun got away with a very fast third base and a very fast tech, and then that he just had so many Stalkers. Idra was, like you mentioned, scrambling to deal with those Dark Templar. His production wasn't quite up to speed, and I mean, his Roach force is very small at that point in the game.
It's also an interesting fact behind, or an interesting display in the Heart of the Storm of the power of
The Mothership Core.
the Mothership Core. I mean, you can take a really fast third, and you can, like, Minigun literally had 2 gateways, and he was making a Twilight Council when that third was finishing. So that shows how in the Heart of the Storm, you can be a little bit greedier with your expansions, and you can have you have the ability to actually defend these bases. That's not something you could have done in Wings of Liberty.
No, it's much, much, much harder, of course. You can still kind of try to do it,
Right.
but without that Photon Overcharge, there's a lot more Zerg can do to get in your way.
Yeah, I mean, Minigun didn't have any units at his third base. He just had that Mothership Core overhead ready to put down the Photon Overcharge. So, Minigun goes up 1-0 in this best of 5. Still a ways to go here. So, Minigun isn't out of the woodwork just yet. Can Idra formulate a comeback? We'll find out. Game 2 coming up.